Hello and welcome back, my friends. So today I've got a quick gardening tip I want to share with you that has the potential to save you hours in the garden, especially if you're starting seeds at home. You know, anytime that we can streamline operations and cut back on our time investment, we end up enjoying the process that much more, and that's key to staying motivated and staying on top of the various tasks in order to grow the most abundant garden. So today what I'm going to be talking about is bottom-up watering, using that water wicking strategy as a means to water your small seedling plants. So you can see here I've got a tray of seedlings about ready to up pot these, but I wanted to point something out to you. We've got some very dry cells here that need watering. Now I could go over the top, do some overhead watering, which is going to take quite a bit of time when you multiply all the different seed trays that I have going here, and hopefully you've got a bunch growing as well. But because these seed trays have a water catchment tray underneath, all that I need to do is simply lift up the seedling tray and fill that bottom reservoir with water. These little seed cells are going to wick up that water from the bottom up and give each seedling the perfect amount of moisture. This is so much faster than overhead watering. Now this is going to take several minutes for them to absorb the water up like a sponge. If you do want to expedite the process, you can do a little bit of overhead watering as well, which is going to just increase the speed in which these cells wick up the water. So I'll just give a quick little overhead watering as well. So this part is not necessary, it's optional. And that's all there is to it. This tray is watered for the day, probably going to last at least 2 days because I put some extra water in there. So much better than having to water each cell tray, allow that first dose of water to soak in, come back around again, add some more water. Here's another quick tip for you. You might decide to add just a little bit of nutrient into your water when watering this way and give your little seedlings a boost. At this point, they have developed root systems and they could use a little bit of added nutrition. So I'm just going to add about a half a tablespoon to my small watering can here. And these eggplants are going to love me for this. And another tip to further speed things up, fill yourself up a 5-gallon bucket of water. Then you can just dip in your watering can. And if you find that your seedling media that you used to start your seeds in your tray is actually repelling water when you try to overhead water, what you can do is add a couple drops of 𝗥𝗲𝗰 dish soap, something natural that doesn't have all the additives. And what that's going to do is work as a surfactant and help the moisture to evenly distribute throughout each cell. That way when you water, it's going to soak in and distribute that moisture rather than repel. And you can find these plant-powered dish soaps at health food stores, places like Whole Foods, even online. I'll drop a link down below if you just want a quick click and ship. Anyway, just 2 drops. Give it a quick stir, and you'll actually see results really quick using this technique, and your plants will be just fine. I actually grew these plants in a store-bought seedling mix, which is why I'm having some repelling issues. My homemade mix, on the other hand, which I added a little bit of that plant-powered soap up front, no issues whatsoever. If you want to see how I make my seedling mix, again, check the link below. So that is the gardening tip of the day. As I mentioned, this is going to save you a tremendous amount of time versus just trying to overhead water your seedling trays. The bottom-up water wicking method works a charm. And here's another example I just shared with you the other day, using sandbags as planter pots, which will absorb and uptake that water from the bottom. Just add a little bit of water to our bottom container. And watch it absorb into these pots. And these plants are now watered and will continue to be watered for the next couple days in all but a minute. I'm just going to cover this with a bit of row cover. Keep the birds at bay. Well, that's going to do it for now, my friends. I sure do appreciate you tuning in to today's video. If you found it helpful or entertaining in any way, be sure to smash the thumb button for us. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. New uploads every week, sometimes every day, and I'm always giving you updates on all the different things growing on around here. So with that, have yourself a good one. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.